Hello, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to my third class of who you should have on your team as a part of my Masterclass series called Capital Conversations, where we help founders who are looking to raise capital within the next 12 months to really get an insight into what it takes to raise capital from investors. I'm Darshan Kendrick, the founder of Darshan Speaks, where we transform growing companies into attractive companies for investors. And we do that by coaching in 5 different areas: your future, your finances, your foundation, your framework, and your forward thinking. And this mini course is designed to give you a brief overview of the different aspects of raising capital from investors. So thank you for joining me today. There's so much more that's involved with it, but of course you can always book a consultation with us if you are interested in having a one-on-one conversation about how we can get you investor ready day one to receive capital from investors. A little bit about me: I have spent the last 15 plus years as a corporate securities attorney helping companies nationwide raise billions of dollars in private investment capital and saving them millions in unnecessary court costs and fees. And I am happy to be here and to do this third class that we are having in this 7-part series. So I always like to start with a story. So my first story is that I worked with a client a few years ago that was on the verge of receiving a substantial sum from a venture capital firm. And we had worked really, really hard on making sure that we got everything together. And they were almost ready to sign the documents. And one of the general managers with the venture fund expressed some concerns with one of the team members. Long story short, they didn't eventually end up getting the deal together because despite my best efforts and warnings, this particular team member gave to some concern for the investment. And so that is a short recap about just how important it is to have the right people on your team. They can make or break you getting investment funds. And so we're going to go through a few aspects of that today. Okay? All right. So the first thing is, for those of you that have any questions, just save them to the end. You can drop them in the comment section of this YouTube video or wherever you're getting this video. Be happy to answer any questions that I can. And then you'll follow along in the guide that we sent to you previously. And you can also find the guide in the video description. So if you take that guide, you can follow right along with us doing this video, okay? So why does your team matter? No matter how great your idea is, no matter how many people have said you have the next Facebook, Twitter, widget, whatever it is, no matter how great that idea or your company projections are, none of that is going to matter to an investor if you don't have a team that they feel that they can trust and they trust can execute whatever that vision is. Because otherwise, if you just have a dream without execution, we call that delusion. And so that's why it's so important to make sure that you have the right team from day one, so that investors know that not only do you have a great idea, but you have a team that actually bring it into fruition. Okay, so let's build the dream team. So who should we have on this dream team? And this is for your dream team for your capital raise. So I can go into a whole nother sermon about who you should have on your team in general, but we're just going to focus on the dream team for when you're raising capital, okay? The first one is founders, which seems pretty simple, right? Not only founders, but capable founders. Remember the story that I told before. You want people who are not only experienced and capable and believe in the vision, but you want people that investors can trust. I'm sure the more money that you're asking for, the more they're going to dig into each and every founder's background. So make sure that you have a capable team, one that you want to present as people who believe in the vision, that can execute on the vision, but also people that are trustworthy. So make sure you get together a group of founders like that. People ask me all the time, well, I'm just a solo founder. You will find it very, very hard to raise capital as a solo founder. So if you can build a solid team of founders, you don't need many. You don't need more than, I would say, about 3 to 5, but it's very, very hard to raise if you're a solo founder. So make sure that your founders are capable founders, that they are able to execute and that they are trustworthy. The second people that you need on your dream team is not going to come as a surprise, But you need attorneys, and not just any attorney. You need an experienced securities attorney. I've dedicated my life the last 15 plus years as a securities attorney. And the reason that's so important is there are different ways to practice law, right? You do not want somebody who handled your divorce or your personal injury case to give you advice about the very regulated area of law, securities law, when you're raising capital. We each have our specialties, right? And so for the last 15 years, I've focused on raising capital, specifically as a securities attorney. But if for some reason you can't find a capable securities attorney, although I have some recommendations, then make sure you at least get a corporate attorney that has some experience in this area. This is a very highly regulated, very technical, ever-changing area of law. So you want to make sure that you have a capable attorney on your team from day one, because remember, when you're going through this process, even after you've done your capital raise, any decision that you make as a business attorney is going to have one or two or both consequences. Either it's going to have a financial consequence, a legal consequence, or both. Which leads me to my third person you want on your dream team, which is an accountant, particularly a CPA who can do some other things and help you with the actual tax planning portion of this, which is very important. Remember that every decision that you make is going to have a legal or a financial consequence, but particularly when you're raising capital, you're definitely going to want somebody who is going to be able to keep up with the sums of money that are going in and going out and help you with budgetary and planning things. They are going to be worth their weight in gold. So make sure you get somebody who is well versed, particularly somebody who's helped with investment types. That would be very, very helpful. Just like we need you to have a securities attorney that is well versed in capital markets, it would be great to do the same with a CPA. And then if you have any honorable mentions, make sure you drop it down there in the comment section of this video. But there are many, many more people that you can add to this. Add some as an honorable mention, like business development person, someone who can sort of go into the market and get people interested into your product even before you launch this product that you have or the service that you have. So that's one aspect that you might want to consider adding on. You might also want to have somebody who is a CFO in addition to your CPA or your accountant, somebody who is just in charge of the overall financing strategy. One of the things that my coaching firm does here at Darshan Speaks is we help you decide who is missing from your bus of people that you need in order to drive you into your destiny, or raising the amount of capital that you need, who needs to get out, and then if we just need to change the different seats on that bus as you raise your capital. So having the right people in the right seat is also very, very important as well. There are many other people that you could add to this dream team, but I am going to stop right there and say you need to have strong founders, a securities attorney, preferably, and then a CPA who has some experience in capital markets. At the very minimum, those are the people that you need on your dream team. And at Darshan Speaks, we help you work through specifically finding those right people because it's so important. Okay, so I know many of you are probably looking at me and saying, okay, so where can I find these members? Okay, so I have a few suggestions. The first one is that you can find it from family and friends. Now, I do have a caveat on here, right? Because you can't do business with just any old family and friends. These need to be people who have the same work ethic as you, the same vision as you, people that you would like spending a lot of time together, because as a founder, you particularly will spend a lot of time together, but even at your attorney or CPA, you'll spend a lot of time with them. So it has to be somebody that you can tolerate on a personal level as well. So be wary of family and friends, but it might be a good place to at least start. But don't be afraid to say no. The second thing is professional associations. If you're already a member of a club or an organization or a nonprofit, go ahead and look within those organizations, particularly if they're doing great work within those organizations. It sort of gives you a preview as to how those people would work with you. So you can start from that list and whittle it down. The third thing is any trade organization. So if you have a product and you are traveling in the circuit, I know that there are many online forums and other forums that you can seek out advice about a particular person that you're looking for, particularly that will have a specialization in your product or service, because that's always key. The more niche you can get with the person that you're hiring for your team, it's always going to be the better, because experience does matter when you're raising capital. The next place that you can look would be any other associations. Like if you're looking for a lawyer, you could go to the Bar Association. If you're looking for an accountant, I'm sure the accountants have their own professional association. Going through those professional associations of the different people that you're looking for is always a great starting point. Most of the time, the referrals are free. Sometimes there might be a small charge, but it might be a good way for you to sort of go straight to people who are knowledgeable in your area and ask those different associations for referrals. And then the last one, and this is not ranked, so even though it's last, doesn't mean it should be considered last, but referral from family and friends. So if there's somebody that you trust, just ask them, hey, who did you use for X, Y, and Z? Or how do you like working with your accountant or your lawyer or whatever person it is that you're looking for? Particularly if you are close to that person and you like the way that they operate, you might want to use the same person that they do. So referral from family and friends is always a good thing as well. Okay, so I want to get some steps to develop your team, and this comes straight from the worksheet that again is included in the video description, so you can download it, look at this video again and fill in the blank. It's meant to be interactive. So the number 5 question on the worksheet is, what steps do you need to take now to compose your team? Okay, so what steps do you need to take now to compose your team? And I need you to be very, very specific about this, because again, the team is going to be the number one driver when investors are looking if they want to raise capital. So take an overall look of who you're missing, and take a look at where you can find those, and just start working at it each and every day, doing one thing to find your dream team. And of course, if we can help you here at Darshan Speaks, we will. Our coaching program goes from start to finish, everything you need to know in order to be investor ready on day one, including building your team. So I invite all of you to continue to come back to this 7-part series and to interact with us. Again, drop any questions that you might have at the bottom of the video. I'll try to answer them when I can. And if you need a one-on-one coaching session, then you can always go to www.darshanspeaks.com and sign up for a time. We have individual coaching and group coaching. And then, of course, if you want to be one of our premium coaching clients, where we take you from start to finish, everything you need in order to be investor ready on day one, then please sign up for those services as well, or sign up for a time to chat with us to learn a little bit more about your needs. But I hope this was helpful. Somebody give me a thumbs up or something if this was helpful, and I certainly appreciate your time. For those of you that did sign up for this class, you'll get a copy of the recording as well as the information that we went over today, the worksheet. So make sure you invite people to these mini courses. It is free and open to the public. You just have to sign up for my email list, which again, the link is in the video description. So we'll be offering some more master classes like that. But I hope that this class, this 3rd class, who you should have on your team in order to get you investor ready day one, was helpful. And if I can answer any questions, I'll be more than happy to. So I hope everybody enjoyed this mini course, and hope to see you next Wednesday. That is going to be June the 12th at 6 p.m. So make sure you sign up for that, and we will see you then. Thank you.